Hello, is the Sinister Gambino here with a new stream. And in this stream, I'm going to be doing my event week stream for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So to start off, I want to show I did get a JB700W. I just purchased this really recently. So that shows that I have intentions to do the last two Casino Heist DLC weaponized vehicles, and when it comes to reviews, I do have a plan to do a review for all the JB700 vehicles in the game, which will be the regular one. I have plans to do a review for the regular GB700 and the weaponized one in single player, as well as the online one, so I do have a couple like vehicles I would do in that review. And then I had a Zabo like a long time ago when it was on discount for Twitch Prime. I believe there was a Twitch Prime discount, I believe way long ago with the Zaba, so I do have that as well. So those will be the next two vehicle reviews. However, none of those two have been filmed at all, because I have another project that was in the works. Part 1's completely done, just need to upload that. And part 2 of my current project will hopefully come out the day after, or maybe a couple hours like after the first one, if I want to work on it right away. So I do have a couple big plans for video releases for sure. Oh shit, goddamn, I can't believe I did not fall off. Yeah, I realize I'm a little bit late on this one. To be fair, Rockstar was also late with their newswire as well. They released it more in like evening time PST, for example. So the newswire was kind of delayed itself anyways. But yeah, their servers were also having fucking issues, so I had to like mess with Spectator done yesterday, but the game just would not work for me yesterday for some reason. Because their servers were being trashed yesterday. Or Thursday, I guess, I mean. Now that it's early Saturday. Also, I do have plans for my dead, like, secondary channel that I haven't bothered with for, like, over a year, probably, at this point. Only did, like, free fall with only 6 live streams on that shit. But yeah, I have a plan to do a walkthrough of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Hydrated on my second channel. Or actually, it's more of a miscellaneous channel now. I decided I don't really want to go through with, like, calling it much of a secondary channel. It's more of like a separate project kind of channel thing compared to this channel, which is focused for Rockstar games specifically. That's kind of my specialty, or at least what I mainly like the most. Especially the older Rockstar titles, I like those the best, even though I mainly do stuff with the modern titles, of course. Yeah, when you're like a small channel, you have to grow somehow, so that's kind of why I'm on the modern stuff. Bad issue is I'm still waiting for my fucking copy of that fucking rehydrated bullshit that I mentioned. Still waiting for that to even be delivered in the first place. So yeah, as soon as it gets delivered, I will have intentions to start like walkthrough being on there, or at least have some kind of intention to do a like live stream walkthrough kind of being like I've done with GTA and Red Dead on this channel. It's kind of why I haven't done a walkthrough in like probably about a year, most likely, because I kind of want to do something big for that channel that I haven't bothered with in over a year, I think, at least. But yeah, podium vehicle for the week is the Scramjet. Yeah, and the title is 2x money / RP business battles, because that's pretty much the biggest thing going on for the event week, to be completely honest. And then a couple of the money opportunities that sides were at. I believe it's actually the other two opportunities. I don't think there's any more money opportunities besides for on the title versus spectator. It's 3 times money in RP Hunting Pack Remix, and then 2 times money in nightclub popularity, aka the money you get in the safe of the nightclub, not the actual business. They've only done the actual nightclub business one time, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I do know the money thing is just for the safe money, aka nightclub popularity, which isn't too big, but it's still nice.
Ready for some real
And
excitement?
also 50% off nightclubs for probably one of the biggest highlights on discounts. So personally, I already have a scramjet, so I'm definitely not hoping to get this vehicle. Oh, come on, no, don't. Okay, thank God, I do not want the fucking scramjet. I already have one. But yeah, the scramjet even comes with a really cool flame livery, and it comes in a black color, which is really interesting. Not sure if it has much of a like speed racer kind of like livery, but would have been cool if they went with like white and like a speed racer kind of livery to have a like reference to like the vehicle and what it's based on, because I think it's based on like a speed racer vehicle, from what I know. So yeah, about the scramjet. So the scramjet is with a trade price $3,480,000, and without a trade price, it's probably more like $4 million. So you'll be saving some pretty great money by getting the vehicle for the podium, the lucky wheel, of course. Now, what's so good about this vehicle? It has machine guns, which they're just regular old machine guns, so nothing really too special on that. However, this vehicle is very good for PvE, I would say, player versus enemy situations, since it has 30 of the best homing missiles in the game. This is one of the few to several vehicles in the game that has like the best tracking homing missiles in the game. It definitely gives it quite the great potential for player versus enemy situations. Similar to vehicles like the Deluxo and the Vigilante. I don't think it's the best vehicle when it comes to having the best tracking missiles, though. I think the Deluxo definitely has a lot better uses for things like contact missions and stuff like that. Because you can only keep this in the air for a limited amount of time. And some things you might need to stay in the air for a prolonged period of time for a vehicle to even be useful in for certain like businesses and stuff. So it's not the greatest, but when it comes to what it does better than the Deluxo, for example, it's better at going from point A to point B, of course. Like, you could, like, go a certain height with the Deluxo, then just hover and not, like, increase your altitude to go, like, faster, and you could also, like, not have the wings, like, full out or whatever with the Deluxo. And it can kind of go a decent speed in that way. But yeah, this also has rocket boost, which is really good, which is why it's very good for going from point A to point B. So it's probably one of the best vehicles for sure for getting point A to point B. However, I would just recommend an Oppressor Mark II or even the original Oppressor over the Scramjet personally. I think they're definitely both better for getting point A to point B. However, in some ways this can beat the original Oppressor for sure for going into point B. Since as you saw earlier, I almost crashed a ton my Oppressor. However, the Mark II Oppressor being the hover bike definitely has a lot more advantages for sure when it comes to getting from point A to point B. But what this has over like the Vigilante, for example, another rocket-powered vehicle with some of the best tracking homing missiles in the game, is it can jump as well since it has a jump boost. So because of the jump boost and the rocket boost, it's definitely like one of the top couple, if not like few, vehicles for getting to point A to point B. So this is definitely going to be a very good vehicle if you get it from the podium, for sure. It's not the best for like businesses and making money. Like I said, there's definitely better options like the Deluxo, I feel, for example. I think that one's definitely better for sure. That's one I used a lot in my Contact Mission content series. So I've definitely shown off quite well how good that vehicle is through some of my video content. So yeah, hopefully that gives a good opinion on the Scramjet. Definitely a very worthy podium vehicle, probably one of the best podium vehicles I've ever done. And actually, I should mention how to get the trade price for the Scramjet, so I'll go back on the page really quickly. The way you get the trade price on the Scramjet is actually by winning a match of Hunting Pack Remix. So you do have to actually win a match of Hunting Pack Remix, so the fact that's on 3 times money RP is definitely really nice for trying to win a match of Hunting Pack Remix. And if it takes you a while to win a match of Hunting Pack Remix, you're just going to be making more money on the side if it takes a while to do that. But yeah, it's not like Deadline with the Shotaro where you just have to participate in a match of it to get the trade price. You have to actually win a match to get the trade price. So do keep that in mind, but yeah, that is definitely how you get the trade price from what I recall. So it's one of the very interesting trade prices in the game where it's not off of like a business or like a heist or anything. It's off of one of the like adversary modes in the game, similar to like Shotaro, as I mentioned. So that's how you get the trade price. So it's one of the easier trade prices probably to get for sure. As long as you're good at the mode, or your team as well is good in the mode. Alright, so now for premium race, time trial, and RC Bandito time trial. So yeah, premium race for the week, at least for now, is Muscle In for the muscle class. Couple good options for the muscle class. I'm pretty sure the Click and then the Yosemite from like the Doomsday Heist DLC way back then. And vehicles like the Duke of Death and the Pisswasser Dominator, I'm pretty sure are still very competitive options. Not the most knowledgeable on the muscle class compared to like the super class, for example. I would have heard of Ruffy1322 for sure. He's the big like racing YouTuber. When it comes to GTA, for sure, I would say. But yeah, I would refer to that YouTuber as like best like 2020 or whatever their latest like muscle car lap time top speed testing video is. Alright, now to find a regular time trial. Here's our C Bandito time trial in there. Where's that goddamn regular time trial? God damn it. I'm not gonna remove markers on my map. It's kind of gay, honestly. I like having all my markers on here, to be honest. Okay, come on, man. Okay, I'm going for here, then. Oh, gee, it was over here. But yeah, time trial for the week is Raton Canyon. So as I always say for time trials, your best couple like options for class would be the motorcycles and the super class. I personally recommend motorcycles. However, this one could be good for a supercar because it is mainly off-road and you're not going to encounter as many vehicles as in some other time trials for sure. But Raton Canyon, I believe, goes like here, like through here somewhere, and then it goes wherever the end. So there's a lot of off-road sections from what I remember. But yeah, shoreline here, the Alamo Sea. So yeah, this one, yeah, like I mentioned, it's going to be mainly off-road. And for the, I'll start with the supercar class. if you want to go with a supercar, which I don't usually recommend, but because this one's mainly off-road and stuff, it could be better off in some cases. For a supercar, the best option for lap time would be Proton Emirates. Next best option would be the Benefactor Krieger. And then there's like the S80RR and then the Dubachi Wagner from like way back in gun running. That's basically the first through fourth place for lap time, particularly. And I believe for the Proton Emirates and Benefactor Krieger, they swap places for top speed. Meaning that, like, the Krieger would be better for top speed by a single place, whereas Emirates is better for a lap time. So you just swap a single place. By the way, the first three vehicles are all from the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC, so they're pretty recent additions. Whereas the Dubachi Wagner is like all the way from back in gun running, back in like 2017, as I mentioned earlier. But I believe the first three options I mentioned are like in the 2 million range for like the default vehicle, and then customizations probably gets it more in like 3 million range. Whereas the Dubachi Wagner, which I believe is still like 4th in lap time, that one's like 1 mil for the vehicle, and then customizations after that would probably be like 2 million. Yeah. Again, for lap time, the best option would be the Proton Emirates, followed by Benefactor Krieger, I'm pretty sure. Then S80RR, which is like that one-seater supercar from the previous DLC. And Dubachi Wagner from the 2017 gun running DLC. And like I mentioned, the Benefactor Krieger is actually slightly better than the Emirates when it comes to top speed, I'm pretty sure. So that would be first for top speed, I'm pretty sure, whereas the Emirates would be second for top speed. And I'm not too sure for top speed on the other two options, but that should give a pretty good idea for good supercars. But still, like I mentioned, I prefer the Bruffy 1322 as a Supercar 2020, like lap time and top speed video, which surely will be very helpful. For the motorcycles class, there's the Shotaro, as I mentioned earlier. Shotaro corners really nicely compared to other motorcycles. And with that vehicle, you can lean forward or backwards with the stick for the best possible speed, whereas most vehicles, you have to lean backwards with the stick for most motorcycles you do. And then there's like a couple motorcycles where I have to like lean forward with the stick for the best possible speed. Shotaro, you can do it with both. I'm pretty sure it's the only vehicle that can be done with both the front or back of the like left stick for the best possible speed. And then the second best option would be the Hakuchou Drag, I'm pretty sure. Hakuchou Drag definitely does not corner anywhere near as good as the Shotaro, I would say. Plus, it's one of two vehicles where you have to lean forward with the stick for the best possible speed. The other one's like the Nightblade, I believe, but I don't think that's a very competitive one from what I know. Plus, you might as well stay into the top 4, because the third and fourth best options are still really like cheap in this game, and they're like vehicles from like day one of the game for third and fourth place options, which are the Body 801 and the Akuma. And those two you have to lean backward with the stick like you're wheeling for the best possible speed. So yeah, that's the best 4 options when it comes to motorcycles. And by the way, do keep in mind you can't use like the death bike at all. But yeah, you can't use like rocket powered vehicles or like the death bike, for example, ever since the previous DLC, since they doubled the pay and they removed the ability to use vehicles like that. So regardless, I did mention basically the best 4 options probably for the super class and the motorcycles class. for the time trial. And an RC Bandito time trial. Sadly, I do not have my RC Bandito time trial guide out for this RC Bandito time trial. Reason is, they're some of the most boringest videos for me to make from a series I've done so far. But yeah, I'm personally not big on making time trial guides for RC Bandito time trials, at least. Because there's just like so many turns and whatnot like that, and it's kind of annoying to come up with advice for them. And as I mentioned, they're kind of boring to make as well. So maybe one day I'll get a time trial guide done for this one, but yeah. I will say, I believe there is a section where you might want to use like your jump boost on your RC Bandito, assuming you have the maximum upgrade. If not, whatever upgrade you have for a jump boost, you might want to use towards the end here, or something like that, if I remember right. Yeah, that's basically it to mention about the RC Bandito time trial. I'm sure there's a couple other like YouTubers who do time trial guides anyways, like GTA Man, for example. He probably does time trial guides on the RC Bandito time trials, and I believe the regular ones as well. So I would definitely refer to GTA Man for now. But yeah, as for advice for money opportunities, only one of them I'm pretty sure is in the pause menu, being the adversary mode. But yeah, the adversary mode, of course, is Hunting Pack Remix, 3 times winning RP on Hunting Pack Remix. And no, regular Hunting Pack is not included. I believe in the past they've done regular and remixed Hunting Pack in the same event week. I don't know why they didn't do it this event week as well. But yeah, there's 7 maps, of course. The vehicle is used and whatnot, depends on the map you play on, of course. And that goes for all 3 teams. All 3 teams use like different vehicles depending on the map. And of course these thumbnails don't want to load. Or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I believe only one of the maps has the scramjet on it, but I'm pretty sure you could play on any of the 7 maps to get the trade price for the scramjet if you have not got the trade price. Once again, trade price for the scramjet, you do have to win a match of Hunting Pack Remix. So if you want to focus on like business battles for the event week, and if you don't have the trade price, I do recommend doing at least one match of Hunting Pack Remix that you win. So I mainly recommend you do Hunting Pack Remix until you get the trade price, unless you already have the trade price, and I personally would not bother with Hunting Pack Remix 1 through 7 at all, whatsoever. But as I mentioned, even though only one map has the scramjet, I'm pretty sure you can win on any of the 7 maps and get the trade price for the scramjet. And then the rest of them are not on the pause menu, so I might as well explain them as I like roam around with the presser or something like that. So yeah, 2 times money on nightclub popularity. Not really any advice, honestly, to give on the 2 times money in nightclub popularity. If you get bored with business battles or need something to do while you wait for business battles, if you need something to do while you wait for business battles, you might want to go for some nightclub popularity missions. I'm not entirely sure how much it normally pays for nightclub popularity in the safe. Probably not that much anyways. But having 2 times money probably makes it closer to the amount in like the arcade, for example. I would imagine, unless the nightclub popularity is more than arcade, which I kinda doubt. So double money on nightclub popularity and arcade could be like a cool $100,000 if you spend a lot of like time in free mode, of course, or really doing anything, I think. as long as you're actually playing GTA Online or you're AFK in the game. As long as you're not in like single player or not actually playing the game or anything. So there's not really much advice to give on like popularity. However, there is really good advice to give for the business battles. Like I'm not gonna give advice for I'm not gonna give advice for every like particular like business battle mission. I don't like know every single fucking business battle there is in the game. If anything, I would do that for a video in the like far future or something like that. But the strategy for business battles, you'll want to be in an invite-only lobby. Yes, you can have business battles in invite-only lobbies, as long as you have at least 3 players. If you stick to 3 to 5 players, it will be the best case scenario. The reason you'll want 3 to 5 players is because once you get to 6 players or more, the free roam events can spawn in as well, and that will make the like wait for business battles even longer. So you want to stay between 3 and 5 players if possible, whether it's invite only or even a like pretty chill public session could work pretty well as well. As I mentioned, if you go 6 or more, the free roam events will spawn as well, and that will make the like timers and like cooldowns for another business battle to start even longer. So again, stick to 3 to 5 players. And as well, you do want to make sure that they're not in like properties and stuff like that. You have to be outside of properties in order for the 3 to 5 player count in order to count. If you want to just be AFK in your properties for some reason, you might want to invite more people just to make sure that no more than 5 people are out. If you want to set up an invite-only session, that's really good for business battles. But now that I mentioned that part, 3 to 5 players invite-only is definitely the best way for sure to do business battles. And us 3 to 5 players are not in like a property or something like that. So you have to be actively out in the like free mode, I'm pretty sure, not just sitting in a property. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Hopefully I explained it good enough. I think I did. It's not the easiest thing to explain, I would personally say. But I'm very positive that's the exact strategy from what I recall. But yeah, now to make sure I talked about everything before I go into discounts. Alright, yeah, there's nothing more to mention but discounts. Also, fun fact, I'm pretty sure that there was actually at one point 2 times RP for special cargo. Yes, again, they did some dumb, like, 2 times RP only thing for special cargo. According to the newswire, there's no 2 times RP on special cargo. But when the event week first came out, there was like a test 2 tweet mentioning that there was like 2 times RP on special cargo. But like I mentioned, they did like post a newswire later than usual, so maybe they removed the 2 times RP on special cargo. But if they did keep this 2 times RP special cargo in there, that would actually be a very good RP opportunity. Special cargo is actually one of the best like RP opportunities, so if for any reason they did keep the 2 times RP special cargo in there, it could be really good for ranking up. Though like I mentioned, I highly doubt they kept it because there was no mention of it on the newswire. But according to Tez2 on Twitter, I recall that he mentioned there was 2 times RP only on special cargo. But again, there was no mention of it on the newswire, so I don't know if they removed it since. But there was never money on the special cargo on 2 times for this event week, just RP, if it's even still a thing, as I mentioned again. But yeah, there's nothing more but discounts. So before I go on discounts, I might as well link my 2000 real quick. And also I haven't checked my audio yet, make sure it's going through, but it should be. It's very rare to have an issue where my audio doesn't go through. It happened before. And yes, it's completely fine, so on to the discounts. So as usual, I'll start on the property discounts, then I'll move on to vehicle discounts. So yeah, for a couple of the property discounts, you'll find them on Maze Bank foreclosures. Yeah, I believe this one might be the most expensive biker clubhouse. So yeah, I believe this is the most expensive biker clubhouse. Instead of almost 500,000, it's almost 250,000. So that's pretty good for the base price of the clubhouse for sure. And then it's just the properties as well. There's no renovations whatsoever, just straight up property discounts. Very weird, because most of the times they do renovation discounts. So do keep in mind there's not really any discounts on renovations, it's purely the properties. Once again, it's really weird. I don't know why they excluded it during this event week for renovations. So no, for things like Gun Locker and Bike Shop, you're not going to be getting like 50% off of those as well, just the straight up property. There is kind of a little something extra as well for the biker side of things, but for the nightclub, it's just a straight up property.
Oh, damn, that's a disappointment.
I'm very positive on that.
One of them shows on me TV.
But I believe this one's typically the most expensive, so half off on the most expensive, 850,000, under $1 million, pretty good. But yeah, again, no discounts on any renovations or whatever. And yeah, the biker clubhouse allows you to get the biker businesses, which if you play a lot with friends and stuff like that, biker businesses are definitely really good. And nightclub, yeah, and then nightclub of course provides the best AFK business in the game. I mean, you can literally sit on the security cameras for however long you want, and you can make really good money just sitting on the security cameras, pretty much. So yeah, definitely a couple really good properties to get into for sure if you have not already. And the other thing when it came to the biker businesses, when it came to the biker clubhouse, as I mentioned, the extra thing going on with the biker side of things is the biker businesses on 50% off. So document forgery, counterfeit cash, weed, meth, and cocaine, aka all of the biker businesses, are 50% off. So there's not a single one that's excluded. And again, that will not include renovations, just the straight up businesses themselves.
What do you want, Brad?
And then I believe there's like 6 vehicle discounts for this week. And as for Twitch Prime discounts, they're exactly the same, so I will not be going over Twitch Prime discounts. If you want my opinions on the Twitch Prime discounts, if they're good or not, I would refer to the previous event week stream, or whenever the first event week stream was that introduced or whatever first like event week stream introduced the current Twitch Prime discounts. Okay, there's nothing on Arena War. There's nothing on Benny's either. there's nothing on Elitist. So I'm pretty sure the first website that has anything would be Legendary for regular discounts. Alright, so the first couple are here. Now keep in mind these are very personal preference since they're like super and like sport vehicles and stuff like that. So because they're not actually useful in like PvE and stuff like that, I'm mainly going to be talking about their performance, and that's if I'm even sure about them. But yeah, starting with the Overclock Tyrant. The Overclock Tyrant is 40% off. And the Overclock Tyrant, I believe this one's a supercar, I believe. However, I don't think it's a very good supercar in any extent. The biggest thing about it is I believe it's a pretty big supercar, so it's kind of bigger than most supercars, which is really interesting. That's just a cool, like, aesthetic kind of thing. But yeah, at least for a lap time, I'm pretty sure the Overclock Tyrant is not going to be very useful. But yeah, Tyrant's not going to be very useful, I'm pretty sure, for a lap time. And top speed, I'm very doubtful it's very good in as well. However, I'm not very familiar with top speed, so it could be good. But most likely, I don't think it's really good for lap time or customization. If anything, you're probably going to want to get it for customizations or personal preference kind of stuff. But yeah, Pegasi Tesseract. This vehicle is an electric vehicle. It's one of the most expensive like supercars in the game as well, so it's definitely quite nice. This one's on discount. And yeah, the Tesseract is 40% off. But yeah, with this being an electric vehicle, I'm pretty sure it means with it being an electric vehicle, that's not going to be very good for a lap time or top speed. But I believe the good thing about electric vehicles is like acceleration, aka how fast something gets to like its top speed. I believe is what acceleration is, how fast something gets to top speed. So because it's electric, it should be gained to its top speed really fast. So that's something pretty good about this vehicle, along with any electric vehicle in general, pretty much. But yeah, this might have some cool customizations, not sure. It might have a couple cool customizations, but I wouldn't expect very much out of this vehicle for customizations. So this would mainly be a personal preference kind of vehicle, again, I would say. Not necessarily very good for lap time or top speed in this super class. But yeah, I would refer to Bruffy 1322 for the exact lap times and top speeds. I would watch his videos, go over the exact lap times and top speed, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of going to his channel. So I don't really do that kind of thing. Instead, I just estimate off of what I recall. But yeah, and then there's the Imponte Nightshade. Actually, make sure. And yeah, actually, I wanted to make sure that I was out of my MC because I don't want to pay 30k in fucking business fees. But yeah, the Imponte Nightshade's like about $600,000, and right now it's a little over 350,000. So you're not really saving much money at all when it comes to the Nightshade. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Nightshade you're mainly just going to be getting for customizations. I highly doubt that's actually a very good vehicle at all for a lap time, at least for muscle class. For all I know, it could be good for top speed, but I doubt that as well. So if anything, you're mainly just going to be getting this one for customizations. As for the Declasse Mamba, that's one of the Twitch Prime discounts, so for my thoughts on this one, I would refer to my previous event week stream, or whenever current Twitch Prime discounts came out, like, for their first event week. Because typically they do Twitch Prime for, like, 2 or even 3 weeks. One time I think they did a 3-week Twitch Prime discount. And Hijack Chameleon's not actually on discount, it's just glitched up at the moment. So that should have been it on Legendary. Next 2 discounts will be on war stocks, so I'm going to have a lot more details to go into when it comes to these vehicles, as they're actually useful for gameplay aside for like racing situations. And as I mentioned, like time trials and stuff. So first discount for the week for the Warstock website is the B11 Strike Force. So normally it's $3.8 million, but it's about $2.3 million. And I do not believe this vehicle has a trade price, so this almost $2.3 million discount will be for everybody. Not just if you have a trade price. But yeah, B11 Strike Force. In my opinion, this is not a very good vehicle. There's a lot of things they did with the weapons, I feel, that were really unnecessary, and if anything, just ruined this vehicle. So to start off with weaponry, the explosive cannons. You may think these cannons, with them being explosive, they're going to be really good, but no. It's not one of the best explosive cannons that a vehicle has. Some of the best explosive cannons on vehicles are like the Hydra and the laser cannons, and then also the Savage cannons. I believe those 3 vehicles have the exact same explosive cannons and are the only ones with the best explosive cannons. Of course, the good thing about those 3 vehicles' explosive cannons is that they're able to be controlled by the pilot. But also, they pretty much absolutely decimate anything that they shoot at. This thing, on the other hand, kind of struggles to even explode, like... Yeah, this thing actually struggles to destroy, like, civilian vehicles, even believe it or not. The thing with this cannon, for whatever reason, is that you have to, like, very directly hit your targets. So, like, even when it comes to killing a player, it's probably going to be really hard to kill them with an explosive cannon, even more so than, like, a Hydra, a laser, or, like, a Savage's explosive cannon. And even explosive cannons that are controlled by, like, co-pilots, like the Hunter and Valkyrie, even those ones are better, for sure, than this explosive cannon. Heck, I'm sure even a Rogue kind of has better explosive cannons than the B11 Strike Force. But yeah, the explosive cannon at least has the pretty cool, like, burst sound that this vehicle is really known for having. But yeah, you have to very directly hit your targets for whatever reason, making it even hard to destroy, like, civilian vehicles with the explosive cannons. So for an explosive cannon, it's not very good, sadly. And then, this vehicle has lock-on missiles. You may think the missiles are good, but no. For some reason, the missiles on this vehicle are limited. Most aircraft in the game have unlimited missiles, whether they have cooldowns on the missiles or whether you can actually spam the missiles. I believe this vehicle you can spam the missiles at least, so at least there's no cooldown on the missiles, I'm pretty sure. But for whatever goddamn reason, they decided to have a limit of 30 missiles on the B11 Strike Force. There's something a little cool about the missiles on the B11 Strike Force, though. Is that it's one of the few, like, vehicles or whatever that can actually destroy a thruster jetpack at any speed. If you don't know the thruster jetpack, if you go at the, like, top speed, it makes a lot of missiles not able to actually destroy the jetpack, which is really interesting. I believe it has to do with the thruster jetpack's, like, very small, like, hitbox and stuff like that. But yeah, this is one of the few, like, exceptions to that rule where, like, the missiles can actually destroy the thruster at any speed it goes, so it could be good for combating against a thruster, but that's a very PvE. That's a very PvP situation. If someone for some reason decides to grief you with a thruster jetpack, which I'm sure is very rare compared to like a Mark II. but still that has something going with it as well. I try to bring up as many positives and negatives as possible. But yeah, simply just because there's 30 lock-on missiles, and yeah, there's actually a limit on the lock-on missiles when most aircraft in the game don't have a limit at all and have unlimited missiles. Just that alone highly devalues this vehicle, putting all the explosive cannon stuff aside. So yeah, the explosive cannon's kinda complete utter trash. The missiles have a 30 limit, even though pretty much every other aircraft has unlimited missiles. However, this does have barrage missiles, and the barrage missiles are actually unlimited. And it's also the only plane in the game that has barrage missiles, I'm pretty sure. The other, like, two vehicles that have barrage missiles, I'm pretty sure are both helicopters. But yeah, I definitely think the barrage missiles are better on helicopters like the Hunter and the Akula. Mainly the Hunter, because with the Akula I would definitely recommend the homing missiles over the barrage missiles, since you can only choose one or the other with the Akula. But yeah, unlike with a helicopter, I feel with a plane it's not like as good with the barrage missiles. Obviously in some ways the barrage missiles are going to be better on a plane, whereas they're going to be better in a lot other ways, I feel, on a like helicopter. But yeah, that's pretty much all to mention about the weaponry. But yeah, obviously since it's an aircraft, it's pretty much very good for business related stuff already, but like I mentioned, with how bad the explosive cannon is and having only 30 like homing missiles, there's definitely a lot of better options out there for doing like business stuff, VIP works, contact missions, you name it. Pretty much just always going to be a vehicle that's better than this, no doubt. But still, I do kind of recommend it. It's definitely a kind of fun vehicle. Just has a lot wrong with it, for whatever reason. That really shouldn't be the case. And yeah, V65 Molotov is one of the Twitch Prime discounts. I guess I might let you go into it on here, but the main reason you would want to get a V65 Molotov is actually for how easy you can land with the V65 Molotov. For a plane, it actually lands pretty easily, actually. You can land in some kind of tight spots, actually, if you need to, for any reason, with a V65 Molotov. But yeah, that's pretty much the main reason to get it. I go into all the other reasons, I believe, in the previous event week stream, which I believe was when the Twitch Prime discounts first came out. But yeah, with that out of the way, on to the last discount for Warstock. And Insurgent Pickup is not actually on discount, just glitched up at the moment. Ruiner 2000. So instead of like 4.3 million, it's 2.5 million. So does that mean it's like a little over 5 million for like the regular non-trade price? Cause that, oh my god, man, that's pretty fucking insane. By the way, Tesseract, Tyrant, the B11 Strike Force, the Nightshade, and the Ruiner 2000 are all 40% off discounts. The last discount that I need to go into is actually a 50% off discount, and I'll be going into it later, of course. But yeah, the Ruiner 2000. Ruiner 2000 is actually kind of a pretty interesting vehicle for sure. I'll talk about the stock vehicle first. For the stock vehicle, you'll get 8 of the best homing missiles in the game. This was actually the original vehicle that had the best tracking missiles in the game. And then, of course, ever since this vehicle, they've found their way of putting those best homing missiles in the game on a bunch of other vehicles. So since this was the first one, this one's been vastly outclassed by vehicles like the Deluxo, Vigilante, Scramjet, even the Stromberg, stuff like that. However, there is one very unique feature this has, of course, that no other vehicle has, and that's the parachute feature. And the parachute feature, of course, you kind of have to be in a very high spot in order for it to be very good, like Mount Chiliad, for example. For example, you can go from like Mount Chiliad to LSIA, I believe, in like one parachute jump, if you're good at it at least. So it's definitely good for, so it can be good depending on situation and like location for getting from point A to point B. But most likely you'll want to rock something like Vigilante, Deluxe, Scramjet, stuff like that, for, or even the Oppressors for point A to point B for sure. Also, this is a special vehicle, meaning that there's like a 5-minute cooldown every time it gets destroyed. Yeah, I believe the cooldown for special vehicles is still 5 minutes, so you do have to wait an extra like couple minutes compared to most vehicles in the game. Now that most vehicles have like a 2-minute cooldown, for example. Also, this has no explosive resistance for the stock version, so in that regard it sucks, and it also has like no bullet resistance or anything either. So you have like no protection at all aside for like the 8 homing missiles, and yeah, you actually only get 8 of them. So yeah, the 8 you see on the screenshot is literally all you get unless you like call another one in from your like vehicle warehouse or something like that. And yeah, you do need a vehicle warehouse to own this vehicle. Whereas I believe with the B11 you do need a hangar in order to purchase it. But there's a really cool thing with the parachute actually, like, if you do back up and reverse with the vehicle, I believe you can jump with the, like, jump boost and then use the parachute, like, right after, and I believe it, like, gives you a, like, height boost, which is really nice. So you can get more height than usual by backing up and reversing with the vehicle, and then doing a jump boost, then doing the parachute. So that's kind of a strategy when it comes to using the parachute. However, the best thing for the Ruiner 2000 is its VIP work it unlocks. Now this VIP work is not good at all for making money. It's like 10,000 normally, and with the recent double money event that happened like last week or whatever, I mentioned Ruiner 2000 VIP work is not very good, because it only pays like 20k even on like double money. So you won't want to get this vehicle for money at all, and it's not going to be very helpful for like businesses and stuff like that. There's definitely a lot better options for that. But the VIP work can be pretty nice. If someone's being a real big pain in the fucking ass, griefing you and whatnot, for sure, this is definitely a vehicle to get. Since it's fully loaded, counterpart to fully loaded Ruiner 2000, that one has unlimited missiles and it can like take like 50 explosives or something like that. It's fucking insane. So yeah, again, the Ruiner 2000 gives you access to fully loaded VIP work, which is a really good anti-griefing tool. Like I said, if a griefer is being a big fucking pain in the ass to you for any reason, just do fully loaded and then fucking kick their fucking ass with that fucking fully loaded Ruiner. That's basically all there is to mention about the Ruiner 2000. And I'll make sure that there's no more discounts before I go on for this website. Buzzer Attack Chopper, by the way, is not actually on discount. It's glitched up at the moment. Screw it, I'll check DocTees just because it's a really short website, and Kraken's not actually on discount. It's just glitched up at the moment. But yeah, the last vehicle discount for the event week is the Festival Bus, which is 50% off. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no need to explain that this vehicle is absolutely not worth getting. Like, yeah, it's really cool that you can get like 10 different liveries for it. However, I'm pretty sure the way the livery works when it comes to Pegasus, I believe if you get like a vehicle from liveries when it comes to Pegasus, you literally have to buy every single livery for like almost $700,000. So for some reason you wanted to collect all deliveries, it would cost like almost $7 million instead of like almost $14 million. So for some reason you want to collect all deliveries would be the only reason really to take advantage of 50% off. Besides for that, it's just a really cool like fucking bus with like a bunch of props on it. And the props are like so big if you go like under a highway and stuff, you're pretty much going to knock off all the props on it anyways. However, people can also stand on top of it, and I believe they can probably use like a huge variety of weapons, since I don't think like momentum gets applied to them on top of the vehicle. So yeah, it's really just a fun vehicle to mess around with. It's pretty mean. It's pretty meany discount, I would say. Speaking of memes, I saw a fucking Elon Musk fucking GTA meme. It's fucking hilarious. It was like fucking very odd parents characters. One was like Rockstar, and then one was GTA 5, and the Rockstar one was like squeezing the GTA 5 one. As if it was like milk or some shit. It was hilarious, that fucking Elon Musk meme that he did yesterday on Twitter. It's so fucking true considering they're releasing it on the PS5 when it was on the PS3 and the PS4. aka the 7th and 8th gen systems, where 8th gen actually gave the game a very good like opportunity already. There's no reason to put the game on 9th gen systems. Very hilarious meme that fucking Elon Musk released yesterday. Or might have been Thursday, I'm not sure, since right now it's Saturday for me. But yeah, I mean, without all funny, sure. And it's way too fucking true. But yeah, that's probably going to be it for the stream, now that I talked about all the discounts and stuff like that. So yeah, best discounts when it comes to vehicles would be the, obviously the weaponized vehicles for sure are all the best discounts. Which I believe was only at a B11 Strike Force in the Ruiner 2000. B11 Strike Force is probably the better one to get, but only slightly over the Ruiner 2000. They're both really good discounts still, I would say, despite all their flaws. But yeah, that's probably going to be it for the stream. I might actually do some bigger streams, like miscellaneous kind of streams, doing like the Pacific Standard Heist and maybe going back to the Moonshine missions. Since if I am going to live stream SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated on my like miscellaneous channel, I did name it from Sinister 2 to Sinister Miscellaneous like a week or two ago, I believe. But yeah, if I want to do long streams, I never should get used to long streams again, so I might do long like GTA and Red Dead streams for like the Pacific Standard Heist and maybe like the Moonshine missions. So that might be something to look out for this current week and early next week as well. But yeah, that's actually about going to be it for this stream. Hope you enjoyed.